You've made a decision to buy your very first horse, which is really exciting. I remember when I got my first horse, I was about 30 at the time, and I felt like it was Christmas. I was so excited going out to find my horse, and just once I had it, just waiting at the gate and looking at the gate for the float to arrive and to turn up with the horse in it. And I remember being really nervous about bringing the horse home, because I had no idea. I'd ridden horses before, but I'd never actually owned a horse. And I remember being really nervous about, what should the paddock look like, and how do I keep it safe, and how do I make sure I feed my horse the right amounts and the right stuff, and how do I know it's sick, and how do I know it's happy. And so yeah, it's a really exciting time, but also it's a little bit of a scary time, I think, which is exactly why I created this course for you, so you have a little bit of help and some stuff to think about. It's all about having fun, because once you know what you're doing with horses, you can relax and you can chill, and that's when the fun starts. So that's what I'm trying to achieve for you. That's what I'm really hoping for you, that you are confident enough to have fun with your horse and to enjoy the relationship you can build with your horse. Okay, you've decided to buy a horse. You've decided it is time. You've been around horses for a while. Maybe you've taken lessons. Maybe you've been going to a riding school. But it is time. You are ready. You want your very own pony or your very own horse. Where do you go from here? What do you do now? How do you find a horse? Where do you find it? And how do you make sure you buy the right horse for you? So the best recommendation I can give you is, if you have people around you that are experts, you have people around you that have owned horses for a long time, if you have people around you like your riding instructor, like a coach, like a competitive rider that you are friendly with, ask them. When they know you, they also know the type of horse that suits you best, because they will know what level you are. They will know exactly what your level of expertise and experience is. So they will also be able to help you to find the horse that suits your abilities. So if you have a person like that, just reach out to them and say to them, I am looking for a horse and this is what I'm looking for. But what are you going to tell them? What are you looking for? Do you know? Have you sat down and just wrote down, okay, these are the requirements that I have in a horse. This is what I want. This is what I expect from my horse. Do you have age requirements? Do you have training requirements? Does it have to be a certain breed, or do you have a preference? And not to burst your bubble, but color is probably the least of your worries at this point in time. So to help you with that, I've created a checklist, and this checklist, it's a PDF I'm giving you as an additional gift free of charge. Under this video you will find a download link for that PDF. So it's a checklist to really think about and to go through with all the things you need to ask about your new horse. And there are things about age, it's about training, but also size. Do you have a preference for size? Do you get scared with big horses or smaller horses? What size are you? How tall are you? What kind of a posture do you have? What kind of a horse would fit your physique best? So that's things to think about as well. And be really brutally honest with yourself, because the next question that you will have to ask yourself. So look in the mirror and be really, really honest. Look in the mirror and say, these are my abilities. This is how experienced I am as a rider. This is how experienced I am in dealing with horses and working with horses. This is how experienced I am in handling horses in general. Write it down and be honest, because if you are not honest with yourself at this stage, you might set yourself up for some really I don't want to say bad accidents, because that may not happen, or that may not be the case, but you definitely set yourself up for disappointment. That's probably a better word. You set yourself up for disappointment because the old rule still stands. Beginner horse experienced riders, experienced horse for beginner riders. So if you are honest with yourself and you consider yourself a beginner horse person, a beginner rider, or maybe even a novice rider, look for an experienced horse. If you consider yourself an intermediate to advanced horse person, so you have years and years and years of experience of looking after other people's horses, and you have years and years and years of experience in training other people's horses or riding other people's horses, maybe you can look at a more of a beginner horse or an uneducated horse. But this is where you need to be really honest with yourself. So don't glamour it up. Don't make it look better than it is, because that's where accidents are made from. And I know I'm putting it this a bit heavy, but it is really important, because ultimately it is all about having fun with our horses. Ultimately it's all about being able to enjoy our horses and being with our horses. So if you buy a horse that's not suitable to your level of expertise and experience, you may become scared of your horse, or you may become overwhelmed by the personality of this horse, and we don't want that. You don't want that. The first horse you own on your own needs to be a confidence builder, and I can't stress that enough. I can't tell you enough how important that is. So step 1, go through the checklist. Step 2, look in the mirror and tell yourself, this is what I am, this is how experienced I am. And then step 3, write that down, put it on paper. Write down an assessment of yourself as a horse person. And remember, experienced rider, experienced horse person can get a beginner horse. So you can look for a young horse or maybe an off-the-track thoroughbred, but only if you consider yourself an intermediate to advanced horse person and rider. If not, look for a more experienced horse, look for an educated horse, or look for a schoolmaster.